The moon of Zithra was quiet. Too quiet, some said. Its gray, rocky plain stretched endlessly under the pale light of its twin suns. Winds howled across craters and jagged cliffs, carrying dust that sparkled faintly in the sunlight. Most of the alien colony avoided this moon entirely. It was said to be cursed, dangerous, and unwelcoming. But humans often did what others feared. Captain Alara Voss was one of those humans. She was a mechanic, though the title hardly covered her skill. Across the colonies, she had a reputation for fixing things that no one else could. Spaceships that had been abandoned as lost, machines that alien engineers called impossible, even creatures considered untouchable. Alara could handle them all. She didn't just fix things. She understood them. She understood how life worked, how machines worked, and most importantly, how beings, no matter how big or small, felt. Today, she walked across Zithra's cratered plains, her boots crunching on dust and shattered rock. A strange signal had reached her ship, a distress call unlike anything she had ever seen. It was weak, almost fading, and yet persistent. Her human curiosity was piqued. While the alien scientists hesitated, unsure of what could possibly be sending it, Alara had already set out. When she reached the source, the sight took her breath away. A massive creature lay in a smoldering crater. Its scales shimmered in silver and deep blue, and its enormous wings were folded awkwardly against its body. The mother dragon had badly broken legs, twisted at impossible angles. Beside her, a group of tiny hatchlings huddled together, chirping softly in fear. Smoke drifted from the surrounding wreckage of what appeared to be a small starship. Pieces of metal, shattered panels, and sparks dotted the ground. Alara knelt at the edge of the crater. She could feel the heat radiating from the mother dragon, the rise and fall of her chest as she struggled to breathe. The hatchlings trembled, too young to fully understand the danger surrounding them. Most of the alien observers froze at the edge of the crater. Their voices trembled with fear. They muttered warnings. "It's dangerous, and stay back." "We can't help it," but Alara did not step back. Instead, she adjusted the tools in her pack, took a deep breath, and whispered, "It's okay. I'm here to help." Her voice was calm, steady, and somehow comforting. The mother dragon lifted her head slightly, amber eyes flickering toward her. There was a wariness there, a flicker of fear, but no immediate aggression. She was hurt, too tired and weak to fight. The aliens gasped. None of them expected the dragon to remain still. "It could crush you," one of them shouted. "It could," Alara raised her hand gently. "No, not if we are careful." She moved slowly, letting her hands hang at her sides. Every step was deliberate, careful, designed to avoid startling the creature. She examined the dragon's legs. The bones were shattered in multiple places. A human could never carry this creature, even with machines. But humans had a way of thinking differently. That was their advantage: imagination and patience. Alara reached into her pack and pulled out a long, flexible support frame she had engineered during her travels. It was lightweight but strong, designed to stabilize large creatures without causing additional pain. Carefully, she positioned it around the dragon's legs, letting the dragon feel the frame against her scales. She murmured softly. The dragon flinched at first but did not lash out. She sniffed, eyes wide, wings trembling slightly. The hatchlings chirped louder now, sensing their mother's distress. "You're safe," Alara said again. "I won't hurt you. I promise." She noticed how clever the mother dragon was. Even in pain, she understood gestures, the way Alara moved, the calm tone of her voice. Humans had a strange ability to convey reassurance without words. It was something aliens often struggled to comprehend. By the time the alien observers gathered the courage to move closer, Alara had already begun her careful work. She strapped the support frame in place, testing it gently. The mother dragon groaned, shifting her weight, but she did not resist. She watched Alara, studied her as if trying to decide whether to trust her completely. Next came the hatchlings. They were small, fragile, and shivering. One had a wing bent awkwardly. Another had a tiny scrape across its head. Alara gently gathered them into her arms, speaking in soft tones. She had prepared a nurturing pod, a small, temperature-controlled enclosure that could keep the hatchlings warm while allowing the mother dragon to feel nearby. It was a temporary home, but it was safe. The aliens whispered among themselves, amazed at her skill. She's communicating with it," one said. "How?" Alara smiled faintly but said nothing. Communication was not just through words. It was patience, care, understanding, and action. She fed the hatchlings carefully, letting the mother dragon watch, showing her that there was no danger. Slowly, the dragon's tension began to ease. Hours passed. The sun shifted in the sky, painting the crater in warm golden light. Ilara worked tirelessly, checking each broken limb, ensuring the dragon's breathing was steady, that the hatchlings were fed and warm. She cleaned the burns on their scales, applied gentle support wraps, and whispered encouragements as she worked. The mother dragon's eyes followed every movement. At one point, she lifted a wing slightly and nudged Ilara with her snout. A tentative gesture, almost as if she were testing whether the human could be trusted. Ilara laughed softly. "You're stronger than you know," she said. "And you will heal. I promise you we'll get through this together." Even the aliens could see it. The mother dragon was beginning to trust her. The flicker of fear in her eyes was slowly replaced by curiosity, then cautious hope. Humanity's reputation as reckless adventurers did not fit here. They were seeing something else entirely. Humans as problem solvers, as nurturers, as beings capable of empathy that transcended species. Night fell, and the twin suns of Zithara disappeared behind the horizon. The crater was bathed in soft starlight. Ilara adjusted the protective pods for the hatchlings once more, made sure the support frame for the mother dragon was secure, and then sat nearby. She did not sleep, she watched. Every movement of the dragon, every twitch of the hatchlings, she noted. Humans were patient in ways the aliens could hardly imagine. Finally, as the stars twinkled overhead, the mother dragon lowered her head. She rested it gently near Ilara, a sign of fragile trust. The hatchlings nestled close to her, chirping softly. Ilara's heart swelled. She whispered, "Tomorrow we begin the real work. But tonight you are safe." The aliens around the crater were silent. They had never witnessed such courage, such care, and such skill. One of them finally spoke, voice trembling with awe. "The human. She isn't just a mechanic, she's something else." Ilara smiled faintly, looking at the dragon family. She had no words. Action spoke louder. And tonight, the message was clear. Humans could heal what others feared, restore what others abandoned, and inspire hope in ways no one expected. As the wind swept across Zithara, carrying the dust and the soft sounds of the dragon family, Ilara silently promised herself that she would see them fully healed. She would not leave until the mother dragon could walk and the hatchlings could fly, because humans did not give up. Not on machines, not on creatures, not on hope. The next morning, the gray skies of Zithara were streaked with pale gold as the twin suns rose slowly. The crater where the mother dragon and her hatchlings rested looked almost peaceful now, though the remnants of the wrecked ship still smoldered in a few places. Ilara Voss stood at the edge, her tool pack slung across her shoulder. She had not slept much. Humans often worked this way, driven by curiosity and care rather than exhaustion. The mother dragon shifted slightly, testing her legs against the support frame Ilara had installed the night before. A low groan echoed across the crater. Her legs were still badly broken, but there was a hint of hope in her movement. She could bear a little weight, even if just a fraction. Her eyes flicked toward Ilara, amber flames of cautious trust burning softly. Ilara smiled. "Good morning," she whispered, stepping closer. "Time to help you stand a little stronger today." The hatchlings chirped in response, tiny wings flapping as they huddled against their mother. One of them tried to imitate the mother's careful movements, wobbly and unsure but full of courage. Ilara crouched down to the hatchling's level, reaching out a hand. "You're safe too," she said gently. "We'll get you all through this together." The alien observers gathered at the edge of the crater again, eyes wide with awe and nervous curiosity. None of them had ever seen anyone approach a creature so large, so powerful, and so feared, without weapons, without barriers, without fear. They whispered among themselves, words lost in the wind. "How can she?" "She isn't afraid." "But how?" Ilara ignored them. Her focus was on the mother dragon and the hatchlings. Today's task was complex. She needed to strengthen the dragon's legs without causing pain, and create a safe environment for the hatchlings to grow stronger. But humans were not limited by conventional thinking. They invented solutions where others only saw problems. From her pack, she pulled out the first of several inventions she had prepared, a modular leg stabilizer. It was light yet incredibly strong, designed to fit the contours of the dragon's legs. With careful adjustments and her soft, steady voice, she began attaching it piece by piece. The mother dragon flinched slightly at each movement but did not resist. She was watching, learning, deciding whether to trust this human completely. Ilara worked slowly. Every connection, every strap was double-checked. She murmured encouragement, rubbing her hands along the dragon's scales in careful, non-intrusive motions. The hatchlings chirped and squeaked, curious and cautious, and Ilara scooped one up at a time to check their wings and claws. Tiny injuries, scratches from falling or bumping against debris, were gently cleaned and treated. Hours passed. The mother dragon tested her legs again. This time she managed to lift one leg slightly off the ground, testing the support frame's strength. Ilara held her breath, but the frame held perfectly. The dragon shifted her weight again, this time more confidently. The hatchlings chirped in delight, a sound almost musical in the morning air. "You're doing wonderfully," Ilara said softly. "Look at you, standing stronger already." The alien observers gasped. "It's miraculous," one whispered. "She's trusting her entirely, and she's healing." Humans often saw things others did not. Where aliens saw danger, humans saw potential. Where others saw fear, humans saw opportunity. Ilara exemplified this perfectly. Her hands moved deftly, applying healing balms, adjusting straps, and building small platforms that allowed the dragon to shift her weight safely. By midday, the mother dragon was able to lift herself almost fully, testing her weight across the modular stabilizers. Ilara guided her carefully, murmuring instructions. Each movement was precise but gentle. The dragon's trust in her human companion was growing. She could sense that Ilara would not hurt her, would not abandon her, and would solve problems no one else could. Meanwhile, the hatchlings were learning from both their mother and from Ilara. One young dragon, slightly bolder than the others, attempted to climb onto a small rock. He slipped and fell. Ilara was immediately there, scooping him up and checking for injuries. Her touch was firm but kind, reassuring the little dragon. He chirped softly, settling against her chest, safe and comforted. The mother dragon watched carefully, her eyes sharp and intelligent. Slowly, she inched closer to Ilara, allowing the human to examine her broken limbs more closely. It was a monumental moment. No other species had earned this level of trust from her, not in centuries. But humans were different. They combined intelligence, patience, and empathy in ways the galaxy rarely saw. Ilara spoke softly to the alien observers. "Healing is not just about fixing broken bones," she said. "It's about building trust. It's about patience, and it's about understanding that every creature has its own pace." The aliens were silent, absorbing the wisdom in her words. Many had never considered that a creature's mind could be as important as its body in recovery. Ilara smiled faintly. Teaching them was not her main goal, but they were learning anyway. Humans often led by example. By late afternoon, Ilara had finished her first round of adjustments. The mother dragon was standing fully with the help of the modular stabilizers. She shifted her weight carefully, flexing her legs, testing the strength. The hatchlings chirped joyfully, flapping their tiny wings. Ilara stepped back, hands on her hips, taking in the scene. "You're all doing so well," she said. "Tomorrow we'll try something a little harder. But today we celebrate the small victories." The mother dragon lowered her head, nudging Ilara softly against her chest. It was a gesture of deep trust and gratitude. Ilara laughed softly. "I think that's your way of saying thank you," she said. The alien observers were astonished. She is thanking her human," one said quietly. "No other species could do this." Only humans could," Ilara didn't reply. She was already thinking ahead. Healing was only the beginning. She would need to teach the hatchlings how to move safely, how to balance, how to grow strong under their mother's guidance, and she would need to ensure the mother dragon could regain full mobility. All of this required ingenuity, something humans had in abundance. As evening fell, Ilara set up a small shelter, shielding the hatchlings from the cold winds that swept across the crater. She added soft padding and gentle restraints to prevent the mother dragon from accidentally hurting them while she moved. Everything was carefully designed, small adjustments constantly made. The mother dragon watched her every move, eyes intelligent and alert. She had begun to understand that this human was not just fixing her body, she was caring for her entire family. And slowly, Imperceptibly, a bond was forming that would change both species forever. When the twin suns finally disappeared below the horizon, Elara sat down, exhausted but satisfied. The mother dragon lay nearby, resting but fully supported. The hatchlings curled around each other, safe and warm. Humans were strange, unpredictable, and remarkable. They could see solutions where others only saw problems. They could offer comfort where others only offered fear. And here, on a remote moon, Elara was showing exactly why humanity was different. She whispered to the dragon family as the stars shimmered above, "Tomorrow we take another step. And every day after we grow stronger, together." The moon of Zithra was no longer quiet. It hummed softly with possibility, hope, and a quiet understanding. Humanity had arrived, and even here in the middle of a seemingly forgotten crater, it was making miracles happen. The next morning, Zithra's sky was painted with soft hues of orange and purple as the twin suns rose. The crater where the mother dragon and her hatchlings rested no longer felt like a place of despair. The wreckage had been cleared, and the air hummed with cautious optimism. Yet today would test patience, not just strength. Captain Elara Voss approached the dragon family with her usual calm energy. Her hands were full of tools, salves, and small devices she had invented to make healing more precise. Today was not about miracles, it was about consistency. Humans excelled in that. While others rushed to instant results or gave up too quickly, humans understood that true progress came from repeated effort and careful observation. The mother dragon lay with her legs partially supported. The stabilizers were strong but uncomfortable. She shifted uneasily, testing her limits. Her amber eyes followed Elara, watching her every movement. The hatchlings, now slightly more confident, tried to move closer to their mother. One of them stumbled and let out a soft cry. Elara rushed over, her hands moving gently.
"Careful," she murmured.
"We'll get you there." She picked up the little hatchling and examined him. His wing was bent, but not severely. A soft band of support and gentle massage would help him regain strength. She worked slowly, letting him feel her calm, human presence. The mother dragon groaned and tried to shift, but her legs protested. The stabilizers were uncomfortable, and she was frustrated. She let out a low rumble, not threatening, but clearly exasperated. Elara understood. Pain and frustration were natural. Healing was not easy, and patience was a test for everyone involved. "You're stronger than you think," she said softly, kneeling beside her. "We'll get there one step at a time." The hatchlings were curious. One tiny dragon pecked at a piece of equipment, while another tried to climb onto a small platform Elara had built. She laughed softly. "Easy, little ones. This is not playtime yet, but I will show you how." Humans were uniquely capable of teaching through example. Elara demonstrated gently, showing how to move, how to balance, how to trust support structures. The hatchlings watched her closely, and slowly they began to mimic her motions in tiny, careful ways. Meanwhile, the mother dragon began testing her legs again. Slowly, she shifted her weight onto the stabilizers. Each movement was tentative, sometimes awkward, but progress was visible. Elara's heart lifted with every small success. She knew that recovery was never linear. There would be setbacks, frustrations, and moments when even the smallest effort felt impossible. But humans thrived on resilience. The alien observers were astonished. They whispered among themselves, clearly amazed at the patience and creativity humans displayed. They understand so much," one said quietly. "Not just the body, but the mind." Elara overheard them but didn't respond. She focused on her task. Today, her goal was twofold. Help the mother dragon regain stability in her legs and teach the hatchlings essential movements they would need to survive and grow strong. To help the dragon mother, she had designed a series of adjustable platforms and gentle ramps. They allowed her to shift her weight without putting full pressure on her broken legs. The ramps were covered in soft padding and lined with sensors that monitored stress on the bones. Every time the mother dragon moved, Elara recorded the readings, adjusting the ramps for maximum comfort and efficiency. The hatchlings were curious and playful. One tried to climb a ramp too quickly and slipped. Elara caught him murmuring softly. She showed him the correct way to climb, repeating the steps until he succeeded. Small victories mattered. Humans understood the importance of these small, repeated lessons. By midday, the mother dragon was able to lift herself higher than ever before, testing the stabilizers against her full weight. She roared softly, a sound of frustration mixed with determination. Alara responded with calm words and steady hands. Good, that's it. You're doing wonderfully. Keep going. The hatchlings flapped their wings experimentally. Alara encouraged them, holding their tiny claws and guiding their movements. One hatchling even managed to take a small hop onto the padded ramp, a moment of triumph. The mother dragon watched intently, amber eyes shining with pride and cautious hope. Alara's ingenuity shone in her tools and techniques. She had created a feeding system that allowed the dragon mother to eat without putting pressure on her legs. She had built soft harnesses for the hatchlings to practice balance safely. Every device was designed with care, creativity, and deep understanding of their needs. Humans were remarkable in their ability to invent solutions under pressure, and Alara embodied this perfectly. But progress was not without challenges. The mother dragon became impatient at times, pulling against the stabilizers or shifting abruptly. The hatchlings grew restless and curious, occasionally venturing too close to dangerous edges. Each challenge required patience, not force. Alara adapted constantly, moving supports, calming the dragon with soft tones and guiding the hatchlings gently back to safety. By late afternoon, sweat dripped from her brow and her hands were sore from constant adjustments and care. Yet every glance at the mother dragon and her hatchlings reminded her why humans persevered. They thrived on connection, on problem-solving, on seeing potential where others saw fear. The mother dragon shifted fully onto the stabilizers, taking a small, careful step. It was awkward but powerful in its symbolism. She could move, albeit slowly, and that was progress. The hatchlings chirped loudly, imitating her movements while Alara clapped softly, encouraging them. Every step counts, she said. No matter how small, it's progress. You're all learning, growing, and becoming stronger. The aliens were astonished. They had never seen patience used as a tool so effectively. They began to understand something fundamental. Humans did not simply act. They observed, learned, and adapted. They did not demand obedience or control. Instead, they guided, nurtured, and inspired. As the sun dipped behind the horizon, the wind picked up across the crater, cool and sharp. Alara had finished the day's exercises. The mother dragon rested, legs supported, and hatchlings were secure in their soft enclosure. Every small adjustment, every careful lesson had brought them closer to full recovery. Alara sat nearby, exhausted but content. She watched the mother dragon nudge one of her hatchlings with a tender movement. Trust had been built, step by step, through patience, care, and ingenuity. Humans had a unique gift. The ability to solve impossible problems without force, to inspire trust where others inspired fear. She whispered softly, "Tomorrow, we take it further. You'll learn to move on your own. The hatchlings will practice flying safely, and together, we will grow stronger." The stars appeared above Zithera, twinkling faintly against the dark sky. The crater was quiet now, save for the soft breathing of dragons and the gentle hum of the wind. Humans had arrived, bringing hope, innovation, and patience. The sun rose over Zithera in a soft gold haze, painting the crater in warm light. The air was calm, the winds gentle, a perfect morning for progress. Captain Alara Voss stood at the edge of the crater, surveying the scene. Today was an important day. The mother dragon would attempt her first real steps without complete reliance on the stabilizers, and the hatchlings would begin their first guided movements under her watchful eye. Alara's heart beat fast with excitement. She had prepared for this moment for weeks, carefully observing, adjusting, and innovating. Humanity was exceptional at creating solutions where others saw only obstacles, and today would showcase that skill in its purest form. The mother dragon lifted her head and flexed her legs cautiously. The stabilizers were still in place, offering support, but Alara had reduced the weight they bore. She whispered softly, "Take your time, step by step." The dragon paused, amber eyes flicking toward her. She could sense Alara's confidence and calm energy. Slowly, she lifted one leg and placed it on the padded ground. It wobbled, almost tipping her, but she corrected herself. The hatchlings watched eagerly, chirping in excitement. Alara stepped closer, holding her hands out for balance. "Good, that's it. Just like that," she encouraged. The mother dragon took another careful step. It was awkward, unsteady, but it was movement. The first real movement in days. One of the hatchlings attempted to copy her, stepping onto a small incline Alara had built. He slipped and tumbled forward, letting out a soft squeak. Ilara was immediately there, catching him gently. "Easy, little one. Watch carefully, then try again." She placed him back on the incline and demonstrated the motion herself, using her hands and body to guide him. Humans had an extraordinary ability to teach through action, and even dragons seemed to understand this instinctively. The mother dragon shifted again, gaining a bit more confidence. Each step she took was careful, deliberate, but her movements grew stronger. Ilara marveled at her determination. Patience and trust were paying off. Humans did not force. They guided. They did not dominate. They inspired. As the morning passed, the mother dragon took several steps across the crater, her stabilizers now serving more as a gentle safety measure than a crutch. The hatchlings, encouraged by her progress, tried moving across the padded ramps themselves. One tiny dragon managed to take 3 careful steps, then wobbled and sat down with a happy chirp. Ilara clapped softly. "You're amazing," she whispered. "Look at how strong you're becoming." The alien observers still at the crater's edge could hardly contain their astonishment. They whispered in disbelief. It is incredible," one said. "No other species could do this." "Only humans," another nodded. "Only humans could combine patience, invention, and care to achieve this." Ilara did not reply. She was fully focused on the mother dragon and hatchlings. Today was about building confidence, both physically and emotionally. Humans had an instinct for encouraging growth, for seeing the potential hidden in every creature. And now the dragons were beginning to show it. By midday, the mother dragon was able to walk across the crater almost fully on her own. Her legs were still healing, but each step was stronger than the last. Ilara had designed small obstacles and gentle inclines to test her balance, carefully observing each movement. She adjusted the stabilizers and ramps as needed, ensuring that the dragon felt safe while pushing her limits. The hatchlings were learning quickly. One little dragon climbed onto a soft mound and hopped down successfully. Another tried to balance on a low platform, wobbling at first but eventually managing to stay upright. Ilara guided each of them patiently, showing them motions repeatedly until they succeeded. Humans excelled at teaching through repetition and gentle correction, a skill that seemed almost magical to the alien observers. The mother dragon, meanwhile, was gaining confidence. She tested her wings lightly, flapping them experimentally. Ilara smiled. "Not yet for full flight," she said softly. "But soon. Soon you'll try that too." The dragon tilted her head, amber eyes shining with understanding. It was clear she trusted Ilara completely. Humans could form bonds that transcended species, an ability rare in the galaxy. The afternoon passed in a rhythm of movement, encouragement, and careful observation. The mother dragon's steps grew more fluid, her confidence increasing. The hatchlings practiced tiny hops guided by Ilara's patient hands. Every small success was celebrated. Every misstep met with gentle correction rather than frustration. Ilara paused for a moment, wiping sweat from her brow. She looked at the scene before her and felt a deep sense of pride. Humans had an uncanny ability to transform fear into trust, weakness into strength, and uncertainty into hope. She had taken creatures considered untouchable and dangerous and shown them a different path: patience, empathy, and guidance. As the twin suns of Zithara began to set, the mother dragon managed several full steps across the crater without any support. The hatchlings had taken tiny hops, flapped their wings experimentally, and learned to trust the padding and ramps Ilara had built. It was a day of milestones, of triumphs small and large. The mother dragon lowered her head to Ilara, nudging her gently, a gesture of profound trust and gratitude. Ilara laughed softly. "I think that's your way of saying thank you," she whispered. The hatchlings chirped excitedly, huddling closer to their mother. The aliens were silent, their expressions a mix of awe and disbelief. They had witnessed something extraordinary, a human using intelligence, creativity, and patience to heal and teach creatures many times larger and more powerful than herself. Humanity, they realized, was not just strong or clever. It was capable of inspiring trust and growth in ways no other species could. Ilara sat back, observing the dragon family. She knew this was only the beginning. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, longer steps for the mother dragon, guided flight practice for the hatchlings, and more complex coordination between them. But today had proven something vital: trust, patience and ingenuity could overcome even the greatest obstacles. As night fell, the crater glowed softly under the starlight. The mother dragon lay down, exhausted but proud of her progress. The hatchlings curled up beside her, safe and warm. Ilara prepared the night's feeding and adjustments, her hands moving with practiced care. She whispered to them all, "Tomorrow, we take even bigger steps. And every day after we grow stronger, together." The moon of Zithra, once quiet and lonely, now felt alive with hope. Humanity had arrived, not as conquerors, not as intruders, but as healers, teachers, and guides. And even on a distant, forgotten world, the galaxy could begin to understand the true strength of humans. Ilara looked up at the stars, her heart calm, but determined. The mother dragon and her hatchlings had begun their journey of recovery, and she would see it through. Humans did not give up. They did not abandon those in need. And in every careful step, every gentle touch, and every patient lesson, they proved why they were exceptional in a universe that had yet to understand them fully. The crater was quiet now, save for the soft breathing of dragons and the gentle hum of the wind. Humanity had arrived, bringing hope, ingenuity, and patience. And as the stars twinkled above Zithra, Ilara knew one thing with certainty. The first steps were only the beginning of something extraordinary. The morning sun rose over Zithra with a brilliance that seemed almost magical, casting golden light over the crater. The air was still, the winds gentle, and the atmosphere charged with anticipation. Today was the day that the mother dragon and her hatchlings would take their first steps toward true freedom. For weeks, Captain Ilara Voss had worked tirelessly, tending to their injuries, guiding their movements, and instilling confidence. Today, her patience and ingenuity would be rewarded. The mother dragon stretched her wings slowly, testing the strength she had regained. Her legs, once broken and weak, were now steady, supported by the stabilizers but increasingly capable on their own. The hatchlings chirped and flapped their tiny wings, full of excitement and curiosity. They had learned to trust the safe ramps, the gentle guidance, and the patience of Ilara. Ilara knelt before the mother dragon, her hands resting gently on the creature's scales. "Today we fly, or at least you will try. One step at a time, just like always," she whispered. Her voice carried calm, assurance, and encouragement, the qualities that had earned her the trust of a creature the galaxy feared. The mother dragon blinked slowly, amber eyes warm and intelligent. She lowered her head, brushing Ilara gently with her snout in acknowledgement. The bond between human and dragon had grown deep, built on trust, patience, and consistent care. Humans could achieve what others could not, bringing fearsome creatures to trust them completely without force or coercion. Ilara turned her attention to the hatchlings. She picked up the smallest one, guiding his wings gently. "You can do it," she murmured. "I'll be right here every step of the way." Humans had a gift for nurturing confidence through presence. The hatchlings chirped and flapped, their tiny bodies trembling with excitement and nerves. Carefully, Ilara helped the mother dragon to her feet. She flexed her legs, testing balance and strength. Slowly, almost hesitantly, she stepped forward. The stabilizers supported her at first, but gradually, she relied more on her own power. Each step was deliberate, yet stronger than the last. The hatchlings chirped, inspired by her progress. Ilara clapped softly. "That's it. Stronger now. Feel the ground beneath your feet." The alien observers, who had once feared the dragons, watched in astonishment. "It's incredible," one whispered. They move as if nothing was ever broken. Humans, they've made it possible." Another added, "It's not just strength, it's guidance, patience, and intelligence. Only humans could do this." By midday, the mother dragon had walked across the crater with minimal assistance. Ilara had removed much of the stabilizer support, allowing the creature to feel her own strength and balance. The hatchlings were encouraged to follow, guided by soft barriers and gentle hands. One by one, they hopped, flapped, and scrambled with increasing confidence. Each small success was celebrated with Ilara's quiet cheers and smiles. Then came the moment of first flight for the hatchlings. Ilara had built a soft incline, low enough to ensure safety, but high enough to encourage a small glide. She gently lifted one of the hatchlings onto the platform. "You can do it," she whispered. "Flap your wings. Trust yourself." The tiny dragon hesitated, wings trembling, but then, with a chirp of excitement, he leapt. For a brief moment he hovered, wings flapping, before landing softly on a padded area below. The mother dragon watched intently, amber eyes glowing with pride. She nudged her offspring gently, encouraging them to try again. Each hatchling took their first flights, wobbling and flapping, gradually mastering control. Ilara guided them, patiently, her hands and voice providing reassurance at every stage. Humans had a unique ability to teach and inspire across species, and here it shone brilliantly. The mother dragon decided it was her turn. She flexed her wings fully, testing the air currents. Ilara stood beside her, calm and supportive. Slowly, the dragon lifted her massive body, taking a running step across the ground. Her wings caught the air, and with a powerful thrust she was airborne. The crater below seemed to shrink as she soared above, her amber eyes scanning the horizon, wings strong and steady. Ilara clapped and laughed softly. "You did it. You're flying," she said. The hatchlings chirped and flapped, excitedly following their mother in smaller, clumsy flights. The humans and aliens watching were speechless, witnessing a miracle born from patience, ingenuity, and trust. The mother dragon circled the crater, then returned, landing gracefully beside Ilara. She lowered her head, brushing Ilara gently with her snout. It was a gesture of deep gratitude and recognition, a silent acknowledgement of the bond they had forged. The hatchlings followed, landing beside their mother, chirping and flapping in delight. Ilara looked up at the sky. The twin suns cast long shadows over the crater, highlighting the dragon's silhouettes in the golden light. Humans had achieved what the galaxy had deemed impossible. They had healed a creature abandoned and feared, nurtured her young, and enabled them to fly. All without force, without dominance, and without fear. The alien observers approached slowly, awe and reverence in their eyes. One stepped forward, voice trembling. We were wrong. Humans. You are remarkable. Not just strong, but wise, patient, and compassionate. We have never seen anything like this." Ilara smiled faintly. "It's not about strength or fear," she said softly. "It's about understanding, patience, and care. Every creature, every being, has potential. Sometimes they just need guidance and trust." The aliens nodded, humbled. Across the galaxy, they would carry stories of this moment. How humans had restored life, taught flight, and healed creatures thought lost forever. Humanity was not just physically capable, it was intellectually and emotionally extraordinary. As the sun set over Zithera, the mother dragon and her hatchlings soared above the crater, wings slicing through the golden sky. Ilara stood at the edge, watching them, a deep sense of fulfillment in her chest. She had done more than heal broken bones. She had restored hope, confidence, and freedom. The mother dragon circled back one last time, lowering herself beside Ilara. She nudged her gently again, and the hatchlings chirped in chorus. It was a moment of pure connection, a celebration of trust and perseverance. Humans had shown that care and ingenuity could surpass fear and hesitation. Ilara whispered to them all, "This is only the beginning. Fly high, grow strong, and remember that you are never alone." She stepped back, allowing them space to explore the skies. The dragons flapped their wings powerfully, gliding across the horizon, a spectacle of freedom and strength. The alien observers bowed in respect. "Humans are extraordinary," one said quietly. "They see life differently. They build bonds no one else can. They create hope where others see despair." Ilara watched the dragons disappear into the sky, hearts soaring alongside them. She had proven once again that humans were not just survivors. They were innovators, nurturers, and builders of trust. Across the galaxy, this story would inspire awe. Humans could heal, teach, and guide creatures considered untouchable. They could transform fear into admiration and despair into hope. Night fell over Zithera, stars glittering above. The crater was calm, filled with a quiet sense of accomplishment. Humans had arrived, not as conquerors, but as caretakers and guides. The dragons had flown for the first time, and the galaxy had seen the power of human patience, ingenuity, and empathy. Ilara stood quietly, her eyes following the fading silhouettes of the dragons. A gentle smile touched her lips. Humanity had done it. They had healed the impossible, inspired the fearful, and earned the respect of the galaxy. And on this distant moon, a bond had formed that would last for generations. Humans and dragons, united through trust, care, and the courage to believe in each other. The twin suns had set, the winds were still, and the crater of Zithera was alive with possibility. The mother dragon and her hatchlings had their freedom, and humanity had once again proven that it could achieve miracles where others could not, even without weapons, without force, and without fear. Ilara whispered softly to the night sky, "We did it. Together." And for the first time in a long while, the moon felt truly alive, filled with hope, freedom, and the extraordinary mark of humanity.